Previously, we saw what is classification and why classification is important in studying living organisms. Now, we shall see how to classify living organism. How can we classify organisms? Yes, this is a very serious question. So, when you have some kind of process, we usually use some kind of tools. So, in case of classification, we also use such a tool, and the name of the tool is called classification key or biological keys. So, these keys are the tools that we use to classify living organisms. So, shall we see more about classification keys? Okay. So, classification keys are used to identify an unknown biological specimen. So, one of the most frequently used type of key is the dichotomous key. So, what does the word dichotomous mean? Dichotomous means of two parts. So that is, the dichotomous key consists of two choices. Two choices of what? Two choices of different characteristics or features. For example, is the shape of a leaf tip pointed or round? So both pointed and round is the two choices given for the shape of leaf. So how to construct a dichotomous key? So first of all, a dichotomous key will be having a root. A root is the basis of the living organism. So we will ask, has the root have A? If it has A, then the result will be result A. And if it doesn't has A, then another question arises. Has the root B? If the root has B, then it is result B. If not, it is result C. So in case of this, the root is the plant, and we are asking a question. Does the plant have roots and stem? If the plant doesn't have a root, we will ask, are there any leaves? And if the plant has root and stem, we will ask, are there any seeds? If the plant has seeds, then it is we will ask, are there flowers? Then if not, it's a gymnosperm, and if yes, it is an angiosperm. So other options we can go through later. So now let's identify some organisms using dichotomous key. Here I will provide pictures of some organisms and later on a dichotomous key. You have to identify them. So the first organism given here is a fern. Go around your house, you can see this plant. Study the characteristics, and based on the dichotomous key I have given, please identify the organism. So this is a picture of another plant. Same way, this plant is also available in your house or a neighborhood because it is a common plant. Please visit that plant, observe the characteristics and identify the plant. Here is another plant. So please observe and identify them. Now I will give the dichotomous key. So based on this dichotomous key, please identify those three plants. So first one, does it have vascular tissue? Then does it have seeds? Does it have flowers? So yes or no, all these things you have to identify. Now I will give the classification of the plant phyla. Now this has become more easier. Now you compare the identification key, the answer you got to this flow diagram, and check whether it is right or not. Now I'll be giving 3 examples of organisms that belong to the animal phyla. So this is the first example. So please observe this picture, identify the characteristics and try to solve the problem or classify them according to the identification key I'll be giving after showing this specimen. So this is the second specimen. So just study the picture, identify the characters and classify them according to the dichotomous key. So this is the third one of the organism belonging to animal kingdom. So yes, observe the characteristics. Now I'll give the dichotomous key for identifying these animals. Now ask yourself all these questions and identify the respective organisms. So 3 of these specimens you have to identify using this dichotomous key. Now I will give the corresponding flow diagram. Now just see whether what you have identified is correct or not. Okay. So here I will give some specimens of vertebrate phylum. Okay. So vertebrates have backbones. So I'll be giving 3 specimens of vertebrates. So here's an organism. Then here is the second specimen. Carefully notice the characteristics and identify it using the dichotomous key that follows. So this is the second example of vertebrate phyla. Then here is the third example. So carefully study all the features, all the characteristics represented or given in this animal. So identify them using the dichotomous key. So here I have given the dichotomous key that is to be used for identifying all these 3 examples. Are you able to follow? Are you able to identify those animals? If so, then please see this flow diagram and check whether you are right or not. Have you identified all the organisms from all the 3 phyla? Very good. See you in next class.